Hello, everyone on the internet. This is Dave Spyguy. To you, my co-host Warhound on something happened apparently 250 years ago today. Some people think it's important. It's not. To me, it's Saturday. To Warhound is actually something significant.
Yeah, keep talking shit, you stupid Canadian bastard. You wish you fucking got us back in 1812.
Yeah.
You wish. What's good, bud? What's good?
Oh, not much. I was actually ran into we arranged, but with a friend from high school and I haven't seen her since. She thinks 2018, which sounds about right. And we hung out and talked about stuff. And she's like, and I'm like, you're overall men for the next 6 months, lady. You're not overall men forever.
It's funny whenever a chick says that, because it's like, interesting. Okay, so in T-minus 30 days, when you hit your next cycle, you're going to be begging somebody to help you.
Yes. She's like, yeah, that's probably because my birthday is in February, so I'm probably 6 months older than you. But it was kind of interesting. She's in the government, and she's one of those people who spies on the other government employees for the thing. So I can't go into too much on her details on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it shows up on the show someday.
Well, it is unfortunate that I do love hearing about that kind of stuff, because it's like, I'm sitting here and I like to make the joke, I am a whore. And at the end of the day, I'm like, I hear men and women say the same shit, and I'm just like, the lack of fucking is real in this room.
Yeah.
It's like I caught y'all lacking, and now I'm gonna make fun of you for it.
Yeah. No, like I was talking about her earlier, and I was like, she has worse taste in men than I have in women, and that's saying something. And my mother's like, maybe you should hook up with her. And I'm like, I've been in a friend zone with this woman for 30 years. I've accepted it.
Oh God, it's like with So I've got a friend that me and her friend zoned each other, because we both came to the same conclusion at the same time.
You woke her up. You being as loud as you are. No, you fucking woke her up.
Hold on, David.
Yeah, no problem. Like someone correcting you. Anyways, yeah. So 250 days. I have. World, something happened. The United States became a country, or decided to sign their Declaration of Independence. Of course, we here in Canada have something a little different. We had Canada Day, and I went to go to Canada Day, and it rained like a mofo. One of the top 10 worst storms of my life. I've been in worse. I've been in the edge of a hurricane. It's a style event one time with my ex-fiance in St. John's. But yeah, that was a pretty bad storm. For 2 hours, it rained and poured on Canada Day. And let's just say no fireworks happened that night. At least not for me.
Well, yeah, no. So it's been raining in the evening, and people are still lighting shit off like crazy. Like, it is, like, last night was hilarious, because we ended up having to go to the ER because my girlfriend, she was having a basically a low intensity asthma attack for 48 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty. Because at first we thought it was just the heat was fucking with her bad, because heat during her pregnancy was like her bane. And then we finally get it to the point where it's like, okay, you're not improving, and it's cool as hell outside. You should, and then when she's in the car in a semi sealed environment with the AC blasting on her. She's fine for the most part, but still having that strain. We get to the hospital, they do the examination. They're like, yeah, you're having a full blown asthma attack. We're gonna hit you with a breathing treatment and some steroids, and you should be fine. And so far, so good. But it was raining, and like full bore, and people were still outside lighting shit off. Like,
well, yeah, that's people for you.
We are talking. People were competing with the lightning to see who could light up the fucking world better. Like God's creation versus man's creation. Let's see what fucking wins, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say this right fucking now with how insane the people were last night. I think humans won on that one.
Oh, okay, good. I do like it.
It was nuts.
Mankind triumph over nature.
It's like, oh, okay, guys, we're doing this tonight. Holy shit. But yeah, no, it's been a hilarious past few days in the run up to this. So, have you seen the videos coming out of DC today?
No, I haven't. I've been kind of isolated for the last few days, trying to get through this science fiction novel. And I'm still
you've also been recovering from traveling for the past like 3 weeks. So our favorite glowies are back. Patriot Front has made an appearance after being dormant for like the past 8-9 months or something like that. Like this is the first. I haven't seen head or tails of these motherfuckers since last year, basically.
Yeah,
and we've now got the first appearance of them this year. They have started doing their whole March bullshit, yada yada yada, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you guys are doing. They're trying to create the conditions in DC to try to do a palace coup. That's very clear at this point in time. I'm expecting an attempt on the president's life tonight.
Damn.
Oh yeah, we're going hard real quick, bud.
Well, one day, if you're any day, you take out the president on the 4th of July.
Oh, I the symbolism is real.
It is.
You know, they've been playing the narrative game. You know, the fall of the empire and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what great way to symbolize the fall of the empire. You fucking bushwhack the president.
Yeah.
So, I'm fully expecting an attempt on his life. Fully.
Yeah, I just feel like this guy's got what did Bismarck say? You know, God blesses drunks, fools in the United States of America, and I think he can add a Donald Trump corollary to that as well.
Yeah, especially, and it's funny too because like right now we're dealing with so me and my cadre are dealing with a personal situation with an associate of our cadre, basically going from full blown, ethno-nat, 1 year to now full blown, communist dog next year.
Oh wow. Okay.
And these kind of swings are fucking really common with these types. Again, the left and the horseshoe theory is the only theory. Let's just fucking
the whole thing with the first Trump shooters. And we don't necessarily like him as much anymore, but he did point out like this guy was such a super Trump supporter when he becomes total clone communist. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
But the point is that at the end of the day, when you got these types that are so disassociated and so pent up about what they perceive as the problem, because again, these people, they don't understand the world we live in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
And so, having one of these types so close to the cadre is actually quite hilarious for me because I'm like, yep, because you have a circle of people that either fucking get it or are starting to understand and be able to grasp the concepts, which, you know, in the case of my cadre, it's actually kind of cool in that regard, where, you know, you have me and several other people who we fucking get it. We actually understand what's at play and who the players are. And then there's the few others who are like, but wait, what about this? What about this? What about this? And we get to play that game of, well, here's how this connects to that, and this connects to that, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. Well, with these types, you know, again, they're loose cannons. They don't know anything. They can't conceptualize anything, and so they just react. It's just full blown ab reaction. And so, as time goes on, we're gonna have to handle these people, of course. The unfortunate side of it is how we handle them is going to be measured in, do you try to do something stupid and we get to put you in jail and that's it, or are you really stupid and we give you the 6 foot dirt net?
Yeah, no, I'm always reminded about how the Paris Commune fell, and French, you know what? We're just tired of shit, and they had where they had firing squads for a week. And they're like, we're just done, and that's how I think of it. Will. Fortunately, a lot of the things that are going to be happens.
Well, and mind you, the Paris Commune was actually an example of the forces within a system that are opposed to our enemies. The forces that are within the system deciding, okay, we have an opportunity to use tyranny in an appropriate fashion. Mm-hmm. And that situation was the appropriate use of tyranny. It's the same thing with, like, for example, right now they're trying to build. There's this whole narrative right now where they're trying to play up the Jacobins. Like, oh, how dare you talk shit about the Jacobins? They got rid of these dirty fucking aristocratic kings and queens and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, hey, thank you for outing yourself.
Yep.
Thank you for wearing the star. Thank you for getting on the train. Like, just thank you. You made our jobs so much fucking easier.
Yeah, no, I definitely noticed the Jacobins were coming up more in my feed the last couple of days, and I hadn't really thought too much about it. But
I've been pointing out to people, and that's the thing is, like, today is going to be an interesting day or an interesting night because, you know, Trump's got this speech that he's going to be giving, and I would not be surprised if we start hearing about low level skirmishing over the weekend.
Yep.
Would not be surprised. And mind you, we have to understand one thing, and you know, just to give some people some historical context, the Jacobins were supported by outside forces, primarily the British. There was other influences in the Jacobin movement as a whole. We start learning about some Dutch influences and some German influences and so on and so forth, but primarily English or British, if you want to get a little on the esoteric side of it. But the point is what you end up having as a result of all of this is the Jacobins were a maddened, bloodthirsty movement that just wanted blood, and it eventually goes forward as time goes on, and they start moderating, and all of a sudden Robespierre fucking meets the guillotine himself. And it's like, oh, well, hey, maybe the regular people don't like when we go fucking half-cocked and just start killing a bunch of people. So it's maddening for me on a personal basis that people keep trying to play this game of, oh, we have to do something. Motherfucker, we're doing shit. You just don't like the fact that you can't see it.
Yeah, that is one of the things I see is that people, especially like contacts with some of the people I know, like Rich Bears, and he starts talking. Like one of his guys, I went on this guy's podcast, and he starts going off on like we need to fire this guy, and Trump's actually sick and stuff. I'm like, dude, if you did any of those things, the normie friends that I have would think Trump is insane if he fired all those people in that particular way. Like, things go through a
Well,
down.
Okay, so I wanna bring up one person in particular in regards to this, and that's Susie Wiles.
Yeah.
So I didn't have full context of Susie Wiles until I actually listened to Tom and Susan Kokenda talk about it. And I was like, all right, clearly the Susie Wiles chick fucking matters more than expected. And frankly speaking, it's a to say that she is part of an apparatus that has been trying to take control of the Republican Party for a long fucking time now is saying so. That's putting it lightly. Susie Wiles and overall, it looks like she's part of the PaleoCon movement across the board.
Really? It's a PaleoCon, huh? Interesting.
Well, she seems to align with that faction. And mind you, Ron DeSantis is a PaleoCon. And where's Susie Wiles from? Where does she operate? Well, and that's the thing, is that at the end of the day, it's like, okay, are we seeing the factionalism of the PaleoCons? Well, we've kind of seen that over the course of the past year and a half or so, where the PaleoCons have kind of been splintering. And what we're starting to see is the restructuring, because, you know, what everybody likes to call MAGA, I just refer to as the True Republicans. The True Republicans have supplanted the old guard GOP. And now the PaleoCons and the what are those other fuckheads called?
We have the neocons. We have
the neocons are the old guard. The fucking what's the whatever. There's this other faction. Yeah, the fuckheads who are like, oh, we have the radicals who are like, oh, we have to change this, we have to do this, we have to do that, etc.
Libertarians?
Well, not the libertarians. They're analogous to libertarians, but they're not the libertarians.
Okay.
There's a weird word for the fuckers, and I remember seeing it at some point in time and seeing the discussion around it, and I'm like, okay, you know, put a name to something, you know, be able to actually identify it. You know, like for example, fucking Rand Paul, Thomas Massey, so on and so forth, they would be part of this group. They're not considered libertarians. You know, basically think of the Freedom Caucus. The Freedom Caucus was kind of this. Yeah,
okay.
You know, think of the Freedom Caucus. You know, just as a easy word for it, think of the Freedom Caucus. There was another name that somebody gave to it a while back, and the name fit. I just can't remember what the name was exactly off the top of my head.
Republicans?
No, the Freedom Caucus killed the Tea Party.
I remember watching that happen.
Yeah, the Tea Party was killed by the Freedom Caucus. Thomas Massey was sent into Congress in order to kill the Tea Party. I'm almost certain of this at this point in time.
Okay.
But the point is that you have these different little factions that still exist within the Republican Party, because the neocons have been shafted completely. Hell, fucking in Kentucky, fucking Mitch McConnell's chosen man fucking failed in his primary.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to fucking tell you people at this point in time, but when Mitch McConnell's chosen boy can't pass the fucking primary, that tells you the neocons are dead. They're done.
Yeah,
it's over. And then of course, you know, the Freedom Caucus fuckheads are getting handled in kind as well. And what you're starting to get a feel for across the board is that the PaleoCons and the other minor factions within the GOP are trying to position And Susie Wiles, the reason why I lump her in with the paleocons is because she's kind of like, you got left and right wing paleocons. Think of it that way.
Okay.
You got the one side of the paleocons that want to do it this way. You got the other side of the other that wants to do it another way. And the paleocons across the board, again, you mentioned how her and Ron DeSantis don't get along. Absolutely. I don't disagree with you whatsoever. But at the same time, because the paleocons make up I would say a 25 to 30% good margin of the GOP currently, Trump's got to work with them. And
I did not realize they were that big a thing. I'm so used to thinking they're like so
this ain't
the thing.
Yeah, no, this ain't the fucking this isn't the 1990s anymore, bud. This ain't the 90s anymore. The paleocons have definitely taken, like, after they took Florida and they started taking a lot of, because the paleocons basically run the South at this point in time.
Okay.
Almost across the board. Like if you look at Abbott and Ken Paxton, they're part of the, like, say for example, Ron DeSantis is part of the right wing paleocons. Greg Abbott, Ken Paxton, and them. Now Ken is kind of like in the middle to a degree, but then Greg Abbott is a left wing paleocon. He's from the left faction. And no, I'm not saying like right wing, left wing, conservative, liberal. I'm saying just from two sides of the room. You got the one side where Greg Abbott is, the other side where Ron DeSantis is. Those two, they're oil and water when it comes to overall policies. Because Greg Abbott would never, ever in his days fucking advocate for fucking getting rid of property taxes. The motherfucker would never do it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not Abbott.
Abbott was
even as bad as he can be at times. But the man beat Gavin Newsom in a debate, and that's
yeah. Well, the thing
DeSantis is, that's saying something.
Well, that's the thing is Abbott was a he was a creature of circumstance when it comes down to it. So it is what it is. Once we can get Paxton in there and we can start forcing things to change a little bit, because Paxton and Abbott, they might get along, quote unquote, but they're definitely not the same breed. That's at least my take on the situation. But the fact of the matter is that at the end of the day, you're seeing the shakeup across the board in the GOP, where the paleocons and Susie Wiles, she's trying to manage shit.
Yeah.
She wants a managed outcome. And it's like, in her case, Trump needs to get rid of that dumb bitch as hard as he fucking can. But I don't think he can, because her support and her backing is what the support and backing of the paleocons is contingent on. Unfortunately, I think that she has a lot more connections to the paleocons than a lot of people might want to acknowledge. Like, for example, Charlie Kirk.
Yep.
The voice of paleoconservatism. Like, across the board. So, at the end of the fucking day, like, I think Susie Wiles definitely has a lot more grip on the situation than people want to acknowledge, and I don't think that Trump has an option of getting rid of her. I just don't think he does.
Too bad. I wouldn't mind Stephen Mnuchin back. A lot of people don't like that guy. I was like, he just and I'll manage the chaos.
Well, and here's the thing is Mnuchin. The problem with Mnuchin is I don't think he was fucking ready for it.
Oh no, I definitely agree with you. I remember watching him on an episode of Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan brought him on. He's like, it was a Piers Morgan episode, and he's like, "Is that a hero every day?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, pretty much." And then Steve Mnuchin was like, "Look, when Trump has a much better team now than when I was running the thing, because back in the day, he had me and a few other loyalists, and we tried to manage things as best as possible. But now he's got like 40 me's instead of just me.
Well, and that's the thing is, the Mnuchin, I will give him credit. He tried.
Yeah.
But he was not prepared.
Yeah. He was like, we weren't supposed to win. How are we here? That's how I always feel about a lot of the 2016 guys are like, I didn't expect to win. What's going on? We're supposed to lose. We're just to go do an honorable retreat, and then we got into power. I think a few.
Well, and that's the thing is that's why they loaded up his administration with as many shitbags as they fucking could the first time, because they were like, oh my god.
Yeah. Now, that being said, even though I think some of them are terrible people, I think they would have done a better job than the people he ended up getting. I think Chris Christie had been there.
Well,
only because he's a New Jersey dirtbag politician, and when they wanted to interrogate General Flynn, he'd been like, fuck you, I'm not going to let you go and talk to that guy without 10 lawyers in the room. What the fuck's wrong with you? That kind of thing.
Well, again, the whole thing is, at the end of the day, like, hindsight being 2020, we now realize, like, oh yeah, these fuckheads are going to try everything in their power, and they're terrified of JD Vance. They are fucking terrified of this guy.
Absolutely.
Like,
that's one of the things I see.
The level of which they are trying desperately to create a schism between the voters and JD Vance is fucking insane. And it's like, definitely. Oh, okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're fucking doing. And mind you, because JD Vance is, the weird fucking country bumpkin, quote unquote, there's a bunch of dumbasses, and Blaine Holt, I'm looking at you.
Careful,
I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of fucking Holt right now, because dumbass keeps trying to reference fucking Candace Owens and shit, and it's like, why are you claiming the enemy as a credible fucking source, you dumbass?
Yeah. Like,
stop fucking engaging in CIA fucking bullshit games. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I definitely don't. What the hell Candace Owens' plan is? Just stay away from her.
No, Candace Owens, she's a chaos agent. That's all she is. She's there to seed chaos and derision, and then she can run off to the UK with her fucking hubby, who, oh, by the way, his daddy is a fucking high-level goddamn intel guy. Like, can we just talk about the fucking connections? Like, is this literally impossible for somebody who should know better? Maybe the logistician is just too good with the numbers that he's autistically focusing on numbers. I don't know what it is. But I'm like, if Colonel Watkins got her hands around his fucking neck, she would wring it. Because it's like, motherfucker, stop fucking engaging. Like, stop sympathizing with the fucking enemy. Anyways.
Yep. But, for me, like, good God. She's like, oh, yeah, the Israelis killed JFK. I'm like, dude, those were a bunch of fucking wasps who all hate Jews involved in that conspiracy. There's no way the Israelis were anywhere near there. Like, you gotta think, like, she doesn't even know what the Arabic school is.
Okay, no. So here's the thing. One, the people that were involved with with the killing of JFK, half of them were taking 6 foot dirt naps by the time fucking goddamn the day was over.
Yep.
Like, the only ones that survived were the fucking supervisors. The only ones. Like, yep. when you watch the movie Shooter and dude goes like, how do you know that? Still got the shovel. Like, yeah, that's telling you something. Like, yeah, that kind of shit doesn't get that shit does not get said in media unless there's some fucking nugget of truth to it.
Right.
So at the end of the fucking day, it's like, first off, and I'm gonna say this right now, they probably did try to use some fucking assets from outside the country because, oh shit, people found out. Oh, we can blame this group for it.
Yep.
It's like, In the case of the fucking dumbass that tried to kill Trump at the fucking golf course, what was the number one thing? What was the number one thing that fucking came out as quick as it did? Oh, the Ukrainians were involved.
Yep.
And what happened soon after that? Literally, fucking everybody turned on Ukraine on a dime. Everybody. The only people that are still backing Ukraine in any way, shape, or form in the United States are a bunch of fucking libs and fucking Henry Kissinger or Kissinger or however the fuck you say his fucking name, or not Henry, fucking you know who I'm talking about, Kissinger, the fucking the faggot that sorry, the loser that got fucking boofed from Congress.
Yep. I know exactly.
Which he's still very fucking salty over, by the way. I'm gonna say this right fucking now. Like I've heard from several fucking sources now in relations to that guy, because I do have people that are connected to people that are in that circle. Huh?
One-Eyed McCain, or is this someone else?
No. No, fucking Adam Kissinger.
Kissinger. That's the previous cycle. I was making that connection.
But I have tacit connections that run in those circles a little bit, and like him, and it goes for a lot of them. Fucking Crenshaw, Kissinger, what's the other little douchebag's name? Massey and just a bunch of those, you know, either Freedom Caucus, neocon adjacent, you know, fuckheads.
Yep.
And all of them are fuming across the fucking board. Like in the case of Massey, I've got a contact down in Tennessee who runs in the political circles up there, because he runs a high level security service down there, providing security for these motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the shit he has said to me previously is indicative that they are pissed. They are fuming across the fucking board. They are trying to find a way in some form or fashion to get revenge for losing their seats. Like, the state of Capitol Hill after this coming election is going to be biblical. Because these motherfuckers are not going to, like, at this point in time, I'm convinced personally that we all talk about all this, you know, high level bullshit. Motherfucker, I'm pretty sure that these guys are going to try to freaking plant bombs and shit in Capitol Hill so that when their replacements come in, it just fucking blows up the office.
Jesus.
Like, I like what I keep fucking hearing from these motherfuckers. They're that pissed. They're that spiteful over this. Crenshaw in particular, motherfucker. Like Massey's a spiteful little cunt, but Crenshaw, per my understanding, he's so fucking livid. Like, he's refused interviews across the board so far since the primary, because he's just like, no, I don't want to fucking talk to anybody. I don't want to fucking affiliate with anybody. I'm done. Fuck you. Fuck everybody else. Fuck this little fucking loser that I lost against. Blah 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 blah. It's like, no, the dude's pissed. So yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I'm expecting,
like, he's a SEAL. Like, I'm a little surprised that he hasn't shown up on Piers Morgan or one of these other shows. And
well, again, my whole thing is, and this is just my personal take on it, is that the reprisals are coming. Like, it's like they're trying to set the stage to turn us into Mexico with the level of fucking reprisals that they're trying to play up.
Oof.
Now, mind you, is it gonna work? I doubt. Like, you know, at the end of the fucking day, they're probably gonna take fucking bomb dogs through the fucking offices on Capitol Hill before the new Congress takes office, just for the sake of making sure that there isn't shit planted. Because again, like, I'm not gonna put anything past these motherfuckers.
Absolutely.
Especially with Mitch McConnell fucking, you know, he's completely decrepit at this point in time, but I wouldn't be
I was
surprised to
doing
find out his
broadcast
network.
earlier, people were thinking he was dead, including our friend Tom. So,
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing is he hadn't been seen in like 2 weeks.
wow.
So a lot of people actually did think he was dead. Funny enough.
Okay.
There was a lot of shit that was going on, and like nobody had seen him, and they're like, did he fucking die? And then it turned out like he was just he's in borderline hospice at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, we get it. Bernie's at the McConnell house these days. He needs to not hour anymore. But and it's so sad. I still appreciate him for making sure Merrick Garland didn't get on the Supreme Court. So I always he's disappointed me in many other ways. He gets a little point in heaven for me for preventing Merrick Garland getting on the Supreme Court.
Oh, that's the only point he gets at this point in time. And
Yeah.
and you do you know why he prevented Merrick Garland? Is because Merrick Garland, and this is the thing a lot of people don't understand about the situation with oh, you're good, Stoner. What's good, bud?
Yeah, Stoner, thanks for showing up. I was not expecting anyone to be watching this tonight, given our audience and what day it is. So anyone coming by, I'm happy to have you here.
But the thing is that Merrick Garland, you see, and this is the thing is Merrick Garland would have been Amy Coney Barrett 2.0. So we can talk about that a little bit. Amy Coney Barrett at this point in time, all I got to say is traders first.
Yep.
Because holy shit, like woman, you done bit the hand that fed you, and now we got your fucking number. Don't fucking worry. Because holy shit, you're a cunt. And it's laughable to think that like there are people, you know, in terms of the leftists who are celebrating this, and it's like, oh, you don't realize like this is going to come back to bite you guys in the ass, like hard. Like when we start doing the mass deportations under Vance, because a lot of people don't fucking realize that's when the mass deportations are going to happen. The current administration can't do the mass deportations because it's gonna result in too much blood. The next administration will be the one that handles the deportations, like the hardcore, like just loading people up on fucking planes and shipping them the fuck out.
Yeah.
But it's like Amy Coney Barrett, like she's like, there's going to be so many demands for her to retire from the bench across the board. It's unreal. Like she like, and I'm already seeing it develop, by the way, where there are massive numbers of people that are just like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you fucking doing? And I know what it fucking is. You know, across the board, Amy Coney Barrett was played up to be this, you know, great option, you know, middle ground option, you know, that still would vote in favor of shit. But then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, wait, she's taking a turn. Oh, were you a plant? Well, guess what?
She was definitely a plant from the beginning. I know we don't always agree with Robert Barnes on everything, but on this, he's right. He's been right about ACB from the beginning. He's like, this woman is not going loyal. She's a Mitch McConnell plant. So that.
Well, and that's the thing. Actually, that so if Barnes has said that, okay, kudos to Barnes, because I've done some research and she traces back to the McConnell camp. Almost exclusively.
Basically, Trump was told that when it came down to the election thing, the election case at the Supreme Court, she would be a firm vote. And of course, her first act as a Supreme Court justice was to say, no, I'm recusing myself of this situation. So there was a Florida jurist who had been much better placed, and that was something Barnes had pointed out. And you know what? You're doing God's work. So
yeah. Actually, speaking of Pat Labor and Mex, I think there's a game that you should check out, David.
Oh, what's that?
It's called Star Sector.
Okay.
There are a couple mods for Star Sector. That the one mod is Arma Armatura, which
Okay.
it adds in mechs as strike fighters, and so it has basically mobile suits and mobile armors. And then you have another one which is Diablo Avionics, which adds in what they call Vanzers, which, if you don't know, that's an armor core thing.
Okay.
It's super fucking cool. I've been playing both sides of that for the past like 2 weeks, and it's just like, oh my god, this is so much fun.
Okay.
Stoner, may I ask, how confident are y'all that JD will win? Aren't the progressives making their moves to stonewall the SAVE Act and break the midterms and general elections? They're rabid right now. Okay, so here's the thing: is first and foremost, the SAVE Act itself is how we lock it down going 20 years from now.
Yeah.
The SAVE Act is not what causes us to win in the modern day. What you have to understand is that they have the apparatus in place to do a bunch of hinky shit no matter what. The SAVE Act lets us prep the ground for future elections, not the current elections that we're going to be going through, which is this midterms, the next presidential, and then the midterms after that. It won't be until we won't see the effects of the SAVE Act fully in fruition in any meaningful way until second term JD Vance. Now, in terms of the confidence of JD Vance winning, I am very fucking confident because we're breaking. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. We're breaking the narratives around JD right now to the point where people are starting to realize, like, oh, wait, I've been told what to think about this guy. I haven't been listening to him. I've just been being told that he's some weird guy that likes to fuck couches. Which in reality, it turns out that no, he likes pumping loads in his fucking Indian wife and making kids. And all of a sudden, he's just some normal dude.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it fucking is. And of course, you're going to have the rabid leftists and the rabid rightists who are like, oh my god, he's in an interracial relationship. Oh, boo fucking who, you bunch of fucking communist little cunts. We don't care what you have to say. Take your eugenics fucking environmental evangelism and go the fuck to Nebraska. Now, Stoner gets that reference. David, you might not.
I don't get it, but I do appreciate all the rest of what you pointed out.
Well,
the girl I was telling you about earlier is she's a Sikh from originally. So I oh well, yeah. I was talking to David earlier. It's like that. Yeah, idiots like your idiot. Yeah, but no. When Chuck Grassley decided to start talking shit, I replied to him. I'm pretty sure he blocked me, by the way. I replied to him on one of his. Yeah. But I replied to one of his things basically saying we need to turn Nebraska into a concentration camp. And so now and now we use that against people where we say, you know what? We're just going to send you to the camp in Nebraska. I get it now.
Which, by the way, like just so people are aware, I'm not talking about a camp in Nebraska. No, the camp is going to be the state of Nebraska.
Yeah,
because we need enough room to contain all the evangelicals and all the fucking communists. Instead of you're going to Brazil, it's you're going to Nebraska. As I like to say to people, is like, hey, maybe the Israelis had the right idea of Gaza was a good idea. The evangelicals aren't willing to dig tunnels, though, so it'll be easier to contain them.
Yeah, it will be easier. Yeah, evangelicals.
Oh no, I fucking I hate evangelicals as much as I hate the commies. I fucking despise them because if you actually look into the history of the evangelical movement here in the United States, they're literally for a T a right wing parallel of the communist movement. Literally a parallel of it. And the Mormons are included in that, by the way. So,
Yeah,
just so
no problem. No, I'm Roman Catholic adjacent because I'm an Anglican, but when I was talking to, I did an episode with Owen a few months back where we explored the Christian Zionism movement, and I'm like, I can tell there's heresy here. Owen explained to me why I know this is heresy. I'm like, and he did, and I'm like, okay, that was good. So.
Well, so here's the thing, and I'll kind of go down it because my girlfriend just got my attention. She was like, "Wait a minute," because her aunt is a hardcore evangelical cultist, like full bore. And again, the reason why I say the Mormons
cultist is a hardcore free trade cultist.
Yeah. But the thing that a lot of people need to understand is, and why the Mormons are a part of this is because the LDS is literally just another evangelical sect, even though they might not want to say they are part of that sect.
They're like the libertarians. They're a British psyop.
Well, yeah. Well, no, the entire evangelical movement is a British psyop.
Right.
The entire movement. The only legitimate churches in the United States are the Lutheran and the Lutheran, Baptist, and Catholic churches. The Pilgrims, if you guys remember, they were the Presbyterians, and the Presbyterians were the vector in which they injected the evangelical teachings into the United States. So I don't consider the Presbyterians a legitimate church at this point in time because they've been co-opted. And oh, by the way, a lot of the Presbyterian churches and the Pentecostal churches have been the vector to push this shit as hard as they have. But at the end of the day, what you end up having is that the three main factions that have been pushing this evangelical bullshit have been the Presbyterians, the Pentecostals, and the Mormons. And the Mormons were actually an attempt because, if you go back in the day and remember everybody, Washington and Oregon were still controlled by the British up in Canada. The attempt was, at least in part, to create a roadblock with the Mormons in order to prevent American settlement of that region so that the British could eventually retake it. Even though they had signed the agreement with the Americans to hand it over, didn't mean they wanted to. The Puget Sound was too important as a trade port.
No, I definitely did that when I sent a video secret history of Canada to Rich. I was saying, like, look, the whole Washington Treaty and thing is like when the Canadians realized the British were going to screw them just as they would screw anyone to save their bacon, and they realized, oh shit, we can't trust them either.
And then Stoner. Last time I checked, the progressives and commies are about 3 million strong. Like quadruple that. And what you have to understand is that the vast majority of them are not going to be fighting. See, for every one militant you have 7 to 8 guys backing him up as support staff.
Yep.
It takes a lot of logistics to get an insurgency going. And insurgencies, like people think conventional armies take a lot of logistics. Insurgencies take even more logistics. The logistical footprint of an insurgency is smaller in terms of size of movement. It's the scale that's more important. Because in the case of a conventional army, you're shipping, cargo containers worth of shit at one time. In terms of an insurgency, you might be shipping a truck bed full of shit at one time. So you're talking a much different calculus that goes into it. And again, you're talking insurgencies have one problem. They don't stand up to conventional forces. We proved that in Vietnam. The only reason why Vietnam is considered a quote unquote failure for the United States was because we didn't finish the job. Fucking, shit. What was that? What was the fuckhead's name in charge in Vietnam? The general.
There's a bunch of them. Westmoreland's the first one.
No, it started with an M. Air Force guy. Did it start with an M? Hold on.
Westmoreland, we have the guy who has a tank. We have Abrams, who was in charge for a while, and I'm not too sure what Air Force guy went to N.
Hold on.
M, we have MacArthur, but he's tied to Korea, not Vietnam. Well, we have 3 people watching us on YouTube right now. I know that's more than I usually get, and now it's down to 2.
Momir, William W. Momir. That's his name. Momir was the guy who replaced Lovell, I think is his name, the original commander of the 7th Air Force. And then Momir comes in. Momir oversaw Rolling Thunder, and the problem is that Rolling Thunder was a fucking that was not a good idea, to be completely frank, because it was a waste of fucking logistics. It strained the logistics train so fucking badly for the United States during that time period that it, when the French had already, McNamara was also a problem, but he was a different problem.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're here watching us, JP. I did not think you would be watching us on the 4th, so thanks for joining the channel.
Yeah, McNamara was his own problem. But Momir, if he had the gravitas and the cojones to stand up and tell Washington, like, hey, this is a bad fucking idea to just start doing fucking straight up bombing, just bombing the mountains out of existence. It's not going to fucking work. It's not going to be effective. It's not actually going to fucking do much. Because here's the thing is they bombed the fucking Ho Chi Minh Trail for months. And, McNamara was the secretary.
We know he was also ran forward. So that was the thing.
But the point is that we know now for a fact, given a lot of the declassifications that have happened from the era, that in reality, the actual fucking effect on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, the actual thing that was hurting the NVA logistics into the country that was actually having the most effect and actually was straight up starving the Viet Cong. Like the Viet Cong were literally starving because they didn't have enough food. Was Mac V Sog and the conventional forces like the long range reconnaissance patrols and the Navy SEALs and so on and so forth. Those guys going in, fucking shit up, blowing up supplies in jungle, and just denying the ability for the enemy to operate freely.
Yeah,
that's what was having the most effect across the fucking board. Rolling Thunder was a waste of it was a waste of fuel. And when you're talking about after the French had bankrupted us in the 1960s with their bullshit in the 1950s, coupled with the arms race and the space race with the Soviet Union, we were not economically able to sustain that. period in the story. The economics just weren't fucking there.
Yep.
And so, yeah, no.
I read an article once where this left-wing reporter was interviewing a Vietnamese colonel and say, yeah, we were always going to lose in Vietnam. And the colonel's like, what the fuck are you talking about? If you could cut off the Ho Chi Minh Trail, as Westmoreland wanted to do in 68, we would have been fucked totally.
Oh, yeah, no, Westmoreland knew what the fuck he was doing. It was just the problem was that they were, with Westmoreland's actions overall, he was doing what he could given the constraints that were being put on him by Washington. And Mamier not being willing, and at least this is my read on the situation, Mamier not being willing to tell Washington and back Westmoreland, because Westmoreland wasn't really in favor of Rolling Thunder. Yeah, if he had just had the cojones to back up Westmoreland and dedicate more operational reserves to supporting MACV-SOG and supporting our conventional forces that were fighting along the Ho Chi Minh Trail, like, again, the Ho Chi Minh Trail was that was the crux.
Yep.
That's all it was. Like, the NVA had been smashed at Way City. You know, everybody's like, oh, we were devastated at Way City. No, we fucking weren't. The NVA took a 7-1 casualty rate on that battle. Okay, baby is apparently not happy. JP. Yeah, sorry. JP. In again, guerrilla warfare is a great thing when you have a non-committal force. If you have a committed conventional force, guerrilla warfare falls apart almost instantly. It can't sustain the intensity of combat. It just can't. There's a reason why we had the same problems in Afghanistan, why we didn't have the same problems in Iraq, by the way. Because in Iraq, we were committed. We actually just smashed the fucking enemy, and we managed to handle Iraq in a pretty significant fashion. In Afghanistan, we treated it just like we did in Vietnam. Stunner, LBJ was a fucking piece of shit. We don't like him.
When I was in California, I did go to Nixon's library and pay my respect to him and his wife's grave. So.
Speaking of that, how was that? I would love to.
Yeah. So the first time when I landed, I was with my friend Wally. Wally was with the Cal Highway for 30 years. He picked me up at the airport, which he doesn't like, and because I understand, having been to LAX twice now, it's not a great airport. Then he and I went down to the Rusty Pelican, which is a restaurant. I paid. He was kind enough to pick me up, so of course I paid for his fish. We toured around the countryside and went down to the water, and I put my hand in the ocean. The water ran up about over my heels. It was a mistake on my part. Just went that wave, and then we walked back to the hotel, and the I had a phone, which I'm still giving you, and basically my SIM card got done, and then.
Hey, give me a split second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you need it. You have a crisis there. You need to take care of. So Warhound's dealing with that. I'll explain the rest of the story. Then on Saturday night, went to the dinner, hung out with some people. We did recorded live stream, and then on Sunday I met the one guy who was named Dustin. He's now my friends on Locals. I mean, with him, and he basically said, "Hey, yeah, let's go. I'm a founder member at the Lincoln Library." I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's go down there." Not Lincoln, sorry, Nixon Library. Went down to Nixon's library. The two of us, we kind of split up after we got there initially. We saw the movie they do there. Canon. Yeah, the joys of live broadcasting. Absolutely stoner. And yeah, so we were and saw a bunch of different things. And I really can't stress. They have a really great thing on Watergate, and I do believe that Nixon was set up for Watergate, but he made enough of his own screw ups in that situation where he was fucking uphill on his own. Like Pat Buchanan said, if I had been in the White House, we would have a barbecue on the front lawn, White House front lawn, and we would have burnt all those tapes. If I were still there, that would have happened. So, but yeah, I think it's interesting that Nixon really wanted to preserve his legacy, the fact that he was the president of the United States, one of the most powerful persons in the world, and he had set up in multiple rooms this recording system because he wanted all his presidency to be preserved for legacy. That's kind of pretty cool. Even though it burnt him in the butt in the end, it was kind of a cool moment. Yeah, so you get to go through and realize, how much he loved his wife, how he went to war, how he went to everywhere and kind of did the things he did. But he was, he met this girl he was just, a regular dude. I needed something to do with my life, so I'm going to go join up. And you're back.
Yes, I am back. I apologize.
You have a kid, it's fine. It's actually related to what I was talking about.
Well, no. So this one, she does not like not being dressed, and she just got a bath. So she was. Yep. That's what she was bitching about. What are these guys saying? Stoner, in terms of Antifa. So Antifa is committed as long as Antifa is receiving their logistics. As soon as they stop receiving logistics, they fall apart.
Yeah,
it's been proven every single time.
As soon as they don't get their money from Soros or whoever is sending them their cash.
Oh no! It's literally if they stop getting their drugs and they stop getting their supplies. They don't get paid money. That's how they're able to hide who is funding Antifa as well as they do, is because they pay their people in drugs.
Of course. And they get their money that way.
Yep. And then JP, true guerrilla warfare is not designed to go head on if done right. No, JP, it's not a case of done right. You can do guerrilla warfare right, quote unquote. And if the enemy decides, okay, we're just going to kill you now, and we're not going to give you the chance to do your guerrilla warfare bullshit, we're just going to kill you, then at that point in time, you're fucked. The only time that guerrilla warfare has worked in any way, shape, or form has been from a non-committal force. Or in the case of how the U.S. does guerrilla warfare, which we do guerrilla warfare very fucking well, it's not actually guerrilla warfare. What we do is we use irregular forces, like, for example, I'll use Merrill Marauders as an example because I know the history of that unit as well as I do. In the case of Merrill's Marauders, it is a light infantry force designed to rapidly move and engage with the enemy and hit and fade in a conventional sense. It is meant to hold ground. It is meant to take ground. It is meant to engage with the enemy and stay engaged with the enemy for extended amounts of time. The key difference is that the term is elastic defense. That's what Merrill's Marauders would do, is that they had an elastic defense strategy that would allow them to absorb enemy attacks and then repel them and counterattack. It's a very, very different mindset. That's why the U.S. does guerrilla warfare so fucking well, quote unquote. then in terms of Nixon, was definitely better than LBJ and Carter. Nixon saved this country.
Yeah, he did.
He saved this country because the French were trying to bankrupt us completely and completely destroy the U.S. economy, and Nixon closed the gold window. Okay.
I don't like the fact he had to make that decision, but he made that decision. There might have been a better way of doing it, but
yeah, it's unfortunate that he had to do it, but he had to do it because otherwise the U.S. economy was going to fail.
I think if he allowed gold price to inflate, avoid this. But I'm not the president of the United States, so he was. So I went about his.
Yeah, Stoner. But I suspect somebody I know, maybe Antifa adjacent, and he'd fight for free. He's driven by ideology. That doesn't matter when he's marching on an empty stomach.
Exactly. Like, there's people who are, you have your Che Guevaras of the world, but for the most part, you don't have, there's only one guy who's going to get his face put on a bunch of t-shirts.
Well, in the case of Che Guevara, Che was supported by the Europeans. That's why he was able to be as successful as he was. Oh yeah, Stoner. The reason why so he did two things. He closed the gold window, then took us off the gold standard. Because what that did was it prevented correction. He took us off the gold standard, then closed the gold window. Because what it prevented the French from doing, and it was mainly the French who were doing this, it prevented the French from taking the U.S. dollars that they had in reserve and exchanging them for gold all of a sudden when he tried to close the gold window.
Who? Looking at you there, Stoner. What do you mean? Who are you worried about crossing the Rubicon?
No, David. He's referring to the individual that I was referring to earlier in the stream.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's who he's referring to.
Okay, yeah.
And again, Stoner, it's I've given my opinion on the situation. It's not a good venue for it, but I've given my opinion on the situation, and it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yep.
But no, and especially as time goes on, and this is the key thing. Like tonight, like we'll see what happens. Again, I've already given my small prediction that they're going to try to do something very shady and very hinky. And frankly speaking, I would not put it past the bastards for them to try to do something in Washington. And their logistics, which Europeans were supporting Che. This is the problem: is that Che Guevara was that you had a joint effort. Again, most communist movements across the board during the 19th and 20th century were supported by the British almost exclusively. Yeah. But when it comes to South America and Africa, France has a lot to do with it. A lot to do with it. Like almost across the board, you'll have French fingerprints alongside British fingerprints.
That we will.
And that's the thing is like the frogs are just as complicit in these crimes as the Brits are. Like that's the sad part about it. JP, what were you predicting? I'm predicting that there's going to be an attempt on the president's life today.
It would be very symbolic to make it. There's definitely some other stuff possibly going on. I was just feed. I haven't seen anything come up yet, but I definitely been looking next feed since Warhound mention the possibility. I can say that White House feed is totally trolling for a rocket launch.
Well, that's the thing is that the situation currently is surprising to me because Trump was supposed to address the nation at 9. Oh, you said 9 o'clock, hon.
Sorry.
All right, so apparently he's supposed to make an address.
Nothing's hit my X feed of like on that scale. So,
well, no, apparently he's supposed to do 9:40 is when the address is.
So I have on my X feed right now, Kevin Sorbo. Does anybody actually? These are real people, and it's a bunch of our friends from. You were mentioning our patriotic friend Ariel, and Chris Gore, who I've met on a couple occasions, responded. I thought federal workers had July 4th off. No takers on that one?
I'm sorry, I was reading something. What were you saying?
I was basically saying like, Kevin Sorbo post of like a bunch of Patriot Front people freaking out, and then Chris Gore, who I've interacted with, I have his email and talked to him on a few occasions. I tried to get him on the show, but he's like I work 8 hours a day on YouTube. I don't need any more time, and basically said something to the effect of like, I thought federal workers got July 4th off. This is where you laugh.
Where is the fun?
Captain Dylan is the best. Captain Dylan Hunt is the captain ever. I'm more a Kirk guy, but I get the feeling there. Stoner. JP, if they could take out a bunch of M16s or AR-15s and just take out most of the patriotic front, that would make me a very happy person.
Oh, the Patriot is again Patriot Front. It's funny because I'm curious to see what wing eventually when it's because it will be exposed eventually what wing of the CIA funds them. I'm very, very curious to see what wing it is.
My bet would USAID.
I personally have a theory that it might be tacitly related to fucking Mitch McConnell and his boys.
Oh, okay. Stoner, I've met Kevin Sorbo. Talked to him about the action pack when back in the early 90s. We talked a little bit, and my biggest regret is I didn't have a card to give him to say, hey, if you ever come, because we were talking about some movie he had filmed in my hometown. I was like, next time you're in town, come to my club, I'll treat you for dinner. So I definitely do have a relationship there, but sometime I'm down to run him to some future convention, and maybe I'll get him on the channel. You never know. I got Tom here.
Speaking of Tom, actually, fucking what was it? The last he got into that fucking spat with Michael Yon. that shit was fucking hilarious because Michael Yon is such a bitch. Like, I have never encountered the guy before, and I was just like, wow, like we're really doing this. And then when he does the quote unquote psychological analysis on Tom, I'm like, bro, you literally copy pasted that from fucking AI.
I definitely missed out on that.
Oh yeah, this all happened while you were in Cali. It was fucking hilarious.
Alexa Dog is, as I understand, Michael Shane's wife. And good on him for scoring that.
And Stoner, Patriot Front probably got hit with the USAID cut. And then the SPLC. See, here's the thing: is the SPLC. This is why you're not seeing a lot of the like quote unquote grassroots organization. Patriot Front's never been grassroots. Never.
Yeah,
Not
no.
even,
that is the most manufactured thing I've ever seen is Patriotic Front. I'm like, you could have been Ford putting black cars down the line was more authentic than Patriotic Front.
Yeah, no, Patriot Front is laughable to say the least.
Yeah.
Always has been.
Well, we're Warhound.
Well, at this point in time, it looks like a lot of the shit regarding the fourth celebrations are going to be happening 9:45 and after.
Mm-hmm.
So that shit's actually going to be happening a lot later.
Yep.
Than expected. So it is what it is. I was kind of hoping to be able to commentate on the speech itself a little bit. But
well, he just mentioned it should not be renamed Front at this point.
Oh yeah, that's actually the joke is they like, oh, Fed Front came back out, and as I pointed out to my girlfriend earlier because she asked, are they Feds? It's like, well, yes, but no. Like they're a bunch of little douchebags that are getting contracted by the fucking CIA in some form or fashion. Like the organization of that group is way too fucking rigid. Like if you want to talk about somebody logistically speaking being a threat, like Patriot Front is a threat. Because those motherfuckers, like I wouldn't be surprised to find out a lot of them are way too fucking Ukrainian for my liking.
Yeah, I can agree with that. When you mentioned Ukraine as a Polish person, yeah.
But that's the thing at the end of the day is that you're literally talking about a group that on the surface, if they were at all organized to the level that I think they are, and this is just from a surface look of things, it would be a scary situation where it's like, oh, hey, they're going to end up killing somebody at some point in time in the near future.
Yeah, sadly. I'm a little surprised that they haven't killed anyone yet. Even though they're Feds.
Well, and you notice how every time there's an attempt to protest them, the protests get handled as quickly as possible.
Why don't we end up talking about, got about 10 minutes before I want to end this cast, but how do you feel about Andromeda, Lexa Duog, and that show? Well, let's just nerd out for a little bit for the end of the show.
You said Andromeda, as in Star Trek.
In Starship Andromeda, which with the Ken Sorbo's show, where it was 5 seasons, it was mentioned in the chat repeatedly. Lexa Duig is Michael Shank's wife. She's pretty hot as the AI robot who commands the spaceship. I don't know if you're familiar with that show, though.
Oh, okay. Well, this is why I don't know. This is why I don't know what it is because it's part of the Roddenberry side of things. Yeah, I have no idea what this is at all.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
You see, okay. So when it comes to space related stuff, like I've always been a big Battlestar Galactica guy. I've always been a big Star Wars guy.
Fair enough.
I absolutely adore Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Have you ever watched that?
I watched the first season.
Okay.
I know it has like 7 seasons and it's like the longest running show ever.
So fucking fantastic. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Then you've got stuff like Macross, which I'm sorry, when it comes to if you have a boner for Top Gun, you're going to have a boner for Macross across the board.
Yeah, you are totally, he's totally right.
Because it's literally, the Veritech fighter is literally the F-14. The Veritech is a mech that is based off the F-14. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I saw that first shit at 5 years old on my TV, and my father's looking at it, and what the fuck am I watching here?
Oh yeah, Robotech is fucking fantastic. Then you've got you got stuff like then you've got stuff like Space Battleship Yamato or Star Blazers for those who know it by that name. The absolute cinema that has been those entries into the space drama opera scene across the board. I'm like me, I tried, like in the case of Stargate, for example, I like Stargate from the perspective of the ground operations. As soon as they got into the later seasons, started doing the space battles and shit like that, it's cool, but it didn't scratch the itch that I wanted. Now, I will say this. The Daedalus class, that's a nice ship. That's a really nice ship. I like that design. That's a nice design. But it didn't scratch the same itch that, like, again, Macross and Legend of the Galactic Heroes and Battlestar Galactica. Like, Battlestar Galactica, I'm sorry, from a perspective of a space battle enjoyer, Battlestar Galactica is probably the best. Like, I would love to see a TV show of First Cylon War across the board. Like, it's the same thing with, like, Terminator. Like, we've all been begging and begging and begging for a War in the Future series. And it's the same thing in Battlestar Galactica. We've been begging for years to get something that's First Cylon War. And it's like, motherfuckers, just give us what we want, please. But the reason why they won't do that, for example, is like, now I do have to give props to Slytherin Games. Slytherin got us Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, which establishes a definitive timeline and lore for the First Cylon War. So, like, for example, Helena Kane actually has a reason for being the Stark raving lunatic that she is, because her mother was just as much of a Stark raving lunatic. Then you've got fucking several other characters that, their parents make appearances and so on and so forth. It's very, very nice to see that kind of stuff. But the situation is that it's like he's talking about in Discord, by the way.
I'll check out Discord after the show ends.
But yeah, I absolutely adore those franchises. Like, again, And with Star Wars, like, here's the thing: is I personally don't really have a thing for any of the Star Wars franchise for much of the Star Wars franchise. Like, personally, my favorite parts of the Star Wars franchise has always been, like, for example, the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and then Clone Wars and Clone Wars and Rogue One. Sorry, I almost spaced on it. Rogue One, for example, like that. Like, if you wanted a modern version of what Star Wars could be, Rogue One was it. Across the board, 150 fucking %. Solo, I will give Solo some props because because it's meant to focus specifically on Han Solo. I will give it its props because it's like, oh, this is actually like kind of a cool little premise. Now, I'm very happy that they showed the Battle of Memban in Solo because I'm like, oh, thank God you actually, read up on Han Solo's history. Got it. Thank you.
Well, you're dead to me as you rate Rogue One over Solo. So
no, Solo, because I never expected Solo to happen. See, that's the thing about it, is that Solo, like them talking about and establishing the lore that connects everything from the because they're handling all of the 19 BBY to 1 BBY timeline, and Rogue One is 1 BB, or, well, actually it's more like 0 plus 5 BBY.
my problem with Rogue One is my problem with the first Suicide Squad. You guys are just copying and pasting the Dirty Dozen. We have a formula. This formula's been done multiple times, and you fucked it up. You can't give me
okay. So I won't
or a Star Wars movie with following the Suicide Squad the Dirty Dozen formula. That's what.
Okay, so I can kind of give you that only for one reason. Oh, JP, I fucking love you. By the way, I fucking love you, sir.
Up Ender's Game, which I read when I was like 14.
Ender's Game is still the GOAT. It is still the fucking GOAT. Silence of the Dead is still the fucking GOAT. If you want to fight me, we can fucking fight. I will win. Anyways, but no, I will give you that when it comes to Rogue One. But do you know what they were establishing and what they were trying with Rogue One? Because there's a rumor that's been floating around for a while that they're going to start doing post Battle of Endor movies and continuity for Star Wars.
I'm sure they have been meaning to do that, but they haven't done.
But do you know why Rogue One is important in that regard? Is because if they do a movie about Twilight Company or they do a series about Twilight Company, they need to establish a rhythm.
Okay.
Because Twilight Company is going to be an insane, they have to, in my personal opinion, they have to do a TV show for Twilight Company because that shit's going to be insane.
Well, JP agrees with you.
JP, brother, the movie rushes the book a little too hard, in my opinion, but the movie hits all the right notes for the book. As a movie, book to movie adaptation, it's actually probably one of the best. I don't give a shit what anybody else has to say. I read Ender's Game. I think I was 12 when I read Ender's Game. And when the movie came out, I was I think I was 14, 16, somewhere in that region. And it was the greatest thing fucking ever. It's not Silence of the Dead, it's Speaker of the Dead. My bad. I just realized I fucked that up. And Speaker of the Dead is also a great fucking movie too. or would be a great movie, I should say. Great
It
book.
would be a great movie if they make it. Harrison Ford being in the first Ender's Games movie, that was pretty cool.
Oh, they needed somebody like Harrison Ford for it, and they gave Harrison Ford the best fucking possible fucking position as the commander of the school. I thought that was a great fucking casting for him. And then the fucking one dude as the one, you know, hero guy was he's a fantastic actor. I forget his name. The dude who played he also played in the newer Star Treks. He played as the Romulan commander of the mining ship that was the focus of the first new Star Trek movie. I forget. I don't remember his name.
I mean, but yeah, I remember Ben Kingsley in that movie, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, what is his fucking name? Cast.
Sorry for the dead air, folks. That happens.
Oh, Kingsley. Kingsley. Yeah. Ben Kingsley. That's his name.
Yeah.
I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, he's been lots of things. He's freaking on point.
Yeah, no, I enjoy, and like again, I love how esoteric the movie was for what JP. What I'm talking about is it flowed well for what they condensed it down to. The book has a lot of the extra little fluff that really develops Ender as a character that they kind of missed out on.
Oh yeah.
If we had gotten to experience the full rise of Dragon Company under Ender in the movie, people would have understood like, oh fuck. And you have to also understand how esoteric fucking Ender is as a character. Like, and again, Speaker of the Dead really establishes the esoteric nature of Ender.
Yeah, the movie was trying to tell us run into this killer species who wants to wipe us all out, and we do our best to defeat them, and then we kill all of them. And the Speaker of the Dead is like, we're talking about the other species we killed.
Well, so remember, Speaker of the Dead is Ender not only helping to give people the understanding of what he did, but also him allowing that species to repropagate, because like it's like, oh wait, like they weren't hostile, we just weren't able to communicate. And Ender being the first person capable of communicating with them was a big fucking deal.
Absolutely. It's like the Muslims don't want to make it necessarily about it. It comes down to
oh no, it's absolutely a great analogy. Like the language barrier alone was a big fucking problem. That's what made fucking shit, what's his, the Leper King, what was his name again?
When you get that reference.
Baldwin the Fourth. That's what made Baldwin the Fourth such a big fucking deal, was because he was able to convene and meet with Saladin the way he was. That's why there was that period where under Baldwin's rule everything was good for the most part.
Yep.
Oh, JP, like honestly speaking, like you need to read. So you need to read Ender's Game, and then you need to read Speaker of the Dead. Now, Speaker of the Dead is a very, very, very fucking long and arduous read, and you have to truly commit to reading it. because Orson Scott Card, he has a problem with his writing style where he gets so esoteric that you have to sit, read a chapter or two, and then sit, put the book down, and think it over. Because like Orson Scott Card can get fucking esoteric as fuck. He's a fantastic writer, like, and honestly speaking, it's hilarious because he calls himself a communist, and I'm like, bro, you're just a dude. Like, you actually sit and listen to him talk. It's like, you're not a communist. If you were, I wouldn't listen to you.
Yeah, so definitely. Like, Scott Card calling himself a communist.
Oh yeah, no, he straight up calls himself a communist, and it's like, you're not, but okay.
You're not. Yeah, no. He series I'm most familiar with him. In Ender's Game, it's the one where it's all about like the modern Caesar. How it goes up, says, I don't want to, just need to do my own thing, and people keep forcing upon him the fact that he could be. Okay, let me do. Yeah, audiobooks are a thing. I've listened to a few of them, but I get it. JP, you will need to. I hope you're walking while into the audiobooks. That's what I'm usually doing. Warhound, are you still here?
Yep. Sorry, just seeing if there's anything going along.
Well, we've been talking for about an hour and 40 minutes, so unless you have something more to say, I think we might want to disconnect the show for tonight, and you can go enjoy your 4th of July along with JP and all the others in the comments.
Well, there's nothing to really enjoy because it's going to be raining, so we're not going out, and we're just waiting for the shit with the White House to start. But yeah, no, we can unless you want to sit and listen to whatever speech the president's going to give, we can go ahead and call it.
No, I'll catch him up on when he actually gives a speech, one way or the other. But it's been a good night.
And JP, the USS Constitution, the old Ironside, gotta love her.
Well, Ironside sailed. I was down one time and I saw the boat itself, and they said, "Do you want to go over there?" And I said to myself, "No, it's not for me."
Anyways, but I'll talk to you later. You have a good one.
You too.
Have a good one, Chad.
Have a good night. Have a happy 4th. I'm sure it was better than happy 1st for me. It wasn't. And have a fun time. Good night, all.